The cameras found me first. My name is Maya Whitaker, and tonight I stand in the VIP lobby of Hawthorne City Medical Center with a sealed envelope and a storm I've waited years to break. Security keeps a soft line between me and the couple who just told the receptionist they're the grandparents of Dr. Noah Park Whitaker. They dressed like donors, smiled like saints, and spoke loud enough for the marble to echo their last name. I don't raise my voice. I don't need to. I walk until I can see the green light on a station's rig and the red veins at the corner of Lorraine Whitaker's eyes. She looks past me the way she used to, as if I were a spot on the floor. Charles checks his watch and tells the room he'll be patient just long enough for a photographer to arrive. You wanted an audience, I tell them. Good. You'll get one. I lift the envelope so every lens can find it. Inside is a copy of a court order and a recording a woman I called family made when she understood what people like these would try to do. The paper is warm from my palm. My voice is cool. You can hear what she left for you, I say, or you can keep pretending you didn't sign your choices 20 years ago. Either way, you will listen before you ever say his name again. Lorraine takes a step, the kind you make when you think you still own a person. I step first. The automatic doors hum. Somewhere beyond them, Noah is finishing a case, unaware that two strangers in expensive grief are trying to rewrite history in the time it takes an elevator to arrive. Rolla producer whispers. I break the seal. The first time winter bit through bone, I was 17 and carrying more fear than warmth. No doctors, no witnesses, just the fluorescent glow of a living room that wasn't mine anymore, and a mother timing 10 minutes like she was disarming a bomb. You made your choice, Maya. Now we make ours. My father didn't look at me. He packed my life into one suitcase, efficient as always. I tried to speak, but language failed. When love has rules you never knew existed, words stop working. I held my coat over my stomach over him. I didn't know who he was yet, only that I wasn't alone. Outside the air sliced clean. I learned silence has weight. A closing door can sound like a sentence. I walked until my heartbeat became my compass. The park bench felt like surrender. I counted breaths, then stars, then reasons not to cry. On the third night came pause on frost and a woman's voice, warm, steady, alive. You'll freeze like that. She stood in a wool coat hair silvered with moonlight, a small dog beside her. I'm fine, I lied. No, you're not, she said, eyes flicking to my stomach. Not with judgment, but recognition. She touched my shoulder, steady as dawn. Come, breakfast tastes better indoors. That sentence rewrote my life. You never know when a miracle begins. Sometimes it's a warm car seat, a stranger's lavender scarf, a poodle on a leash. Sometimes the family you need finds you first. Evelyn's house didn't feel like shelter at first. It felt like a test I hadn't earned. Warm light framed photos, a nursery painted in dawn tones. It all looked too gentle for me. I stood dripping on her rug, waiting to be told I didn't belong. She asked nothing, handed me a mug of something hot, a cedar-scented quilt. When I tried to explain words tangled in shame, she only said eat first. Speaking comes easier when you're warm. It was the first time in days I remembered hunger. Upstairs she showed me the nursery, a crib beneath a mobile of stars, tiny sweaters folded in drawers. My daughter planned this room, she said. She never got to use it. Grief filled the air like incense. Still she looked at me. Not my circumstances, but me. You can stay. No questions, no conditions. Trust arrived slowly, a towel on the bathroom door, mittens on the counter, a binder labeled GED materials with a note. When you're ready. I learned to breathe again there. When nausea hit, she sat beside me, offering ginger tea and quiet steadiness. Pity is loud. Kindness is patient. Some mornings she woke me before sunrise to prep for Elman Hearth, just her dream. Then a flickering neon sign, and the smell of rising bread. "You're not working for me," she'd say. "You're learning to run something." I didn't understand yet. Survival and building a future look the same up close. You tell them apart later. In her warmth, I didn't feel rescued. I felt seen. And that's a different kind of salvation, how roots begin, not with soil, but a hand offered in winter. By the time the snow melted, I wasn't just staying. I was beginning again. When Noah arrived, spring softened the world. Snow melted from sidewalks, light lingered on windows, and something in me stretched toward life again. Labor was a storm I didn't understand, but Evelyn's hand held steady. When Noah cried, I cried too, not from pain, but from the miracle of being chosen by life after so many rejections. He was tiny, furious, perfect. Evelyn cut the cord, whispering, "Welcome home, little one." Home wasn't a place. It was the three of us breathing into a new tomorrow. The days blurred, sleepless nights, formula stains, panic-laced searches. I learned babies could swallow air. That fear lived between breaths, that love could ache and still grow. Evelyn didn't hover. She stepped in where I faltered, never making me feel small. Sometimes I woke to find her quietly knitting in the doorway, sharing the space without claiming it. Her love wasn't charity, it was chosen. And chosen love changes everything. As Noah grew, so did I. I earned my GED in a room smelling of paper and nerves. Evelyn started letting me handle morning orders at the restaurant. The first time I called a vendor, I rehearsed 5 times. By summer, I didn't need a script. I could read customers by their footsteps. Noah often sat in a high chair near the counter, gnawing on a spoon, while Evelyn made dumplings and told him stories in a soft mix of English and Korean. He watched her like she held the universe's secrets, and maybe she did. I wrote my first check with money I earned stacking chairs and scrubbing ovens. It paid a nanny so I could take online accounting classes. Every dollar proof that my life wasn't borrowed or pitied, it was built. We built quietly, one meal, one class, one heartbeat at a time. Foundations form that way in silence while no one claps. It wasn't glamorous, it was real. And real was enough. Time never announces its shifts, it just creeps. One day you're wiping mashed peas off a toddler's chin. The next he's strapping on a backpack too big for him, promising he doesn't need your help. Noah grew the way some people grow into music, quietly, completely. Science books, endless questions, and at 8, a promise, I'll fix hearts the way Evelyn fixed ours. Evelyn smiled, pride and worry mingling in her eyes. He marched forward. Honor roll, science fairs, volunteer shifts at the clinic. By college, medicine wasn't ambition, it was calling. When he walked across that stage, white coat gleaming, I felt a love too vast for one lifetime. But ghosts have perfect timing. A regional medical magazine ran a feature, "Local Prodigy Joins Hawthorne City Medical Center." His face beamed from the page. I clipped the article. Evelyn kissed his forehead. Somewhere in a gated suburb, 2 people saw opportunity. They didn't contact me first. They went to the hospital donations meetings, false philanthropy. When denied access, they changed tactics, flowers labeled, "Our brilliant grandson." Then a note, "We forgive you, Maya. It's time to rebuild." Forgiveness number arrogance in cursive. I hid it at first. Noah was deep in rotations, holding lives in his hands. But silence grows teeth. Then came the box, an expensive watch, polished and poisonous. He frowned. Why would someone send this? Because some mistake blood for ownership. Because guilt can disguise itself as gold. They're trying to step back in, I said. He nodded, jaw tight. Then we don't let them. I thought resolve would bring relief. Instead, it felt like the tremor before an earthquake. We stood in that quiet kitchen, mother and son built from what they abandoned, and knew the knock was coming. This time we were ready to open the door. They didn't knock like ordinary people. They maneuvered. When charm failed, they turned legal. The letter came first. Law firm, embossed, tone smug. They weren't asking for connection. They were demanding rights. Visitation. Legacy. Words polished to hide their claws. In the margin, my mother's handwriting. Family endures Maya. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Hard, as if abandoning me at 17 had been easy. After dinner, I handed the letter to Daniel. He read it twice, voice flat. They're claiming emotional benefit. Weak case. Their betting intimidation works faster than the law. Noah walked in scrubs, still creased from a 14-hour shift. Is this them again? I nodded. Then we do this properly, he said. Daniel filed our response, citing their formal relinquishment decades ago, attaching Evelyn's estate directives written out of clarity, not spite. Love protects. Always. Every email, every manipulative note, they all went into the record. But entitlement never sleeps. Ethan appeared next suit too, new timing too perfect outside the restaurant after closing. His smile tried for remorse. It landed on calculation. Maya, he said, like my name might rewind time. I said nothing. Silence was the barricade he'd forfeited. He spoke of mistakes youth second chances. Then he slipped mentioning optics of reconciliation, mutual benefit. Not love, not guilt. Optics. Daniel stepped beside me. Noah behind him, calm surgical. Ethan faltered. Recognition didn't cross his face, only the awareness of everything he'd erased. You don't get to return because it's thriving, Noah said. Ethan's voice cracked. They just want a chance to explain. No, I said. They want a stage. So we gave them one on our terms. I sent the invitations myself. Thick envelopes, elegant script, polite venom. If you wish to discuss family and legacy, do so publicly at the hospital fundraiser. Arrive prepared. They mistook it for surrender. It was sentencing. Reputation had always been their weapon. Now it would be their mirror. And behind the velvet ropes, wearing his white coat, stood the truth, ready to speak for himself. The silence after truth is louder than any accusation. It swept through the ballroom like a tide, filling every held breath, every stunned face. Lorraine's pearls trembled. Charles stared at the documents in Daniel's hand, as if the ink might rewrite his past. Ethan only folded inward, collapse his only language. I didn't move toward them. Mercy isn't weakness, but proximity isn't mercy either. Some distances are earned. Security didn't act. Shame did. Lorraine clutched her purse, trying to stand taller than her guilt. Charles cleared his throat, that CEO reflex, cracking into something small human. They left like mourners at their own funeral. Eyes followed. Not hungry, not vengeful. Just witnessing. Justice isn't always thunder. Sometimes it's headlights revealing what was always there. When the doors closed, breath returned to the room, slow, then full. Noah stepped from the podium, leaned his shoulder against mine, grounding me more than applause ever could. Daniel squeezed my hand. It's done. No, I said quietly. It's finished. That's different. Because endings aren't victory, they're surrender to truth finally spoken aloud. Noah turned back to the crowd. Thank you for honoring the woman who taught me love isn't inherited, it's chosen. Warm applause rose. He continued, voice clear. The Park Foundation for Young Mothers will open its first center this spring, childcare meals job, training education. A safe place to land and rise. Evelyn would have nodded proud, unsurprised. She always knew where kindness led. After the crowd thinned, we stepped outside. Snow drifted soft, slow, nothing like the sharp flakes that once found me alone in a park. Noah pulled his coat close. Daniel's arm found my back. I used to think winter was the cruelest season, I said. What do you think now? Noah asked. That spring doesn't arrive by accident, I answered. Someone has to survive the cold first. We stood beneath the streetlights, breath visible, heart steady, not because blood demanded it, because love built it.